Track 5, Mangala Sutta. The third and fourth phase of life, the spiritual life and the highest attainment. Once you have developed the qualities in the second phase of life, the third phase is about attaining to a certain degree of spiritual maturity. By this time, you would have had a better understanding about the unsatisfactoriness of life, and also you have experienced the fleeting nature of sensual pleasures. And it is about time to look forward to a more lasting happiness and peace through the Dhamma's way. This third phase of life is when you should begin to reduce and relinquish your worldly duties and responsibilities, and you start to go for retreats more often. Those who have chosen to skip the life of a householder should focus on this phase of life to attain to spiritual maturity. The Buddha's advice is as follows: Kanti ca savachasata samanananca dasanang kalena dhammasakacha etang mangala muttamang. Patience or endurance, obedience, the sight of samanas or holy ones, and timely discussion of the Dharma. This is the highest blessing. Kanti paramang tapotitika. Patience or endurance is the highest form of self-discipline. The Pali word kanti is usually explained as patience or endurance. Savachasa refers to obedience, but it means more than that. When we practice the Dhamma, especially in retreat conditions, we need to take instructions from our teachers. We need to exercise lots of patience and endurance. When our mistakes are pointed out to us, we should not get angry, but practice patience and also have the willingness to correct and amend ourselves. Thus, the word obedience should also include the idea of an amenable character, as someone who is easy to speak to while giving instructions. This will lead to the next verse, Samanananca dasanang. This refers to the sight of a samana or a holy one. What it means here is that the mere sight or presence of a holy person will make you feel happy and joyful. If your hearts are open to rejoice with the sight or presence of great masters and teachers, you will be able to feel a sense of bliss and upliftment, thereby receiving the necessary transmission for your spiritual accomplishment. Hence the importance of making the right connections in life. Those who do not have the right connections and associations will not know how to rejoice, even if they come face to face with the Buddha or some other great masters or teachers. When you are connected and associated with authentic teachers, you will have the good opportunity to clarify your doubts on the more subtle and profound aspects of Dharma. That's what kalena dhammasakacha is about. That is, to have timely discussion of Dharma. You may first have discussions of Dharma with your Dhamma friends, but when there are certain issues that you cannot understand, then you should clarify them with your spiritual teachers, who are your real Kalyana Mitta, or spiritual friends. This will quickly lead you to the next and final phase of life, that is, the life of a noble one. The Dhamma is about making you from an ordinary human being into a good human being, then from a good human being into a noble human being, that is, one who has become a truly peaceful and harmless person, and who has distanced himself or herself from greed, hatred, and delusion. The actual practice that leads to transformation from an ordinary worldly being to a noble one is explained in the following stanza. Tapocha brahmacharyancha arya sachana dasanang nibbana sachikriyacha etang mangala muttamang. Practicing restraint, leading a holy life, seeing the noble truths, and the realization of Nibbana. This is the highest blessings. Tapocha brahmacharyancha. Tapo, or self-discipline, is about restraining our body, speech, and mind. And brahmacharya is about leading a pure and holy life. These two qualities will pave the way for us to go beyond sensory perceptions, to develop wisdom and insights into the true nature of our life. The information and knowledge we receive through our ordinary sensory perception are not complete and reliable, because our eyes can only see within a certain spectrum of light waves, from ultraviolet to infrared. Beyond that, we are unable to see. And because we cannot see for ourselves with our physical eyes, we tend to reject the existence of those phenomena that fall beyond the limit of our physical eyesight. Similarly, with our ears, we can only hear within a certain frequency of sound waves. Cats can see better than us at night, and dogs can hear better than us at all times. Our human sensory perceptions are limited. Our physical bodies, made up of skin, flesh, and bones, can be broken down into elements such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, calcium, and all the other elements. And these various elements can be further broken down into atoms, which are defined as 99.999% empty space. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha, in the laboratory of his enlightened mind, was able to see through the emptiness of our body and feelings, and he described them in terms of foam and bubbles. Do you really believe that your body is really empty? No. It is hard to believe, because we tend to only trust the information and knowledge received through our limited ordinary sensory perceptions. In order to realize the true nature of life and things around us, we need to go beyond our sensory perceptions. Hence the need for sense restraint and a pure and holy life. The way to go beyond our ordinary sense faculties is through the cultivation of the four foundations of mindfulness, namely, mindfulness on the body, feelings, mind or mental states, and the Dharma. The development of these four foundations of mindfulness progresses from one to the other, until the attainment of Nibbana and the complete realization of the Four Noble Truths. This is what is meant by Arya Sachana Dasana, seeing the Noble Truths, and Nibbana Sachikriya, the realization of Nibbana. It is through the systematic cultivation of the four foundations of mindfulness that we will be able to attain to higher knowledges and insights, and be able to see what the physical eyes cannot see, to hear what the physical ears cannot hear, and to know what the ordinary undeveloped mind can know. Truth lies beyond thoughts and conceptual understanding. Hence the need to go beyond our sensory perceptions. But our yearning for sensual pleasures is so strong because of the habitual tendencies of grasping, clinging and attachments which has been going on from life to life. So we need real courage, effort, and perseverance to reduce and overcome these habitual tendencies. Now that we are born as human beings, we have the unique ability to develop and liberate our minds. Furthermore, we are so fortunate to be born at a time when the Dhamma is still available. And since we have the merits to make the right connections to receive the sublime teachings of the Buddha, we should make good use of this opportunity to study and practice, to cultivate the necessary wisdom and insights that will lead us to our final liberation, so that we will be able to help others to cross the ocean of samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Upon the complete realization of the Four Noble Truths and the attainment of Nibbana comes the final blessing. Puttassa loka dhammehi cittang yasana kampati asokang virajang kemang etang mangala muttamang. A mind unshaken by contact with changing worldly conditions, sorrowless, stainless, and secure, this is the highest blessings. Puttassa loka dhammehi cittang yasana kampati. This refers to a mind that is not moved or shaken by the 8 worldly phenomena, and these are profit, loss, praise, blame, fame, ill fame, happiness, and sorrow. Once you have truly realized the Four Noble Truths and the true nature of life and things around you, you will not be affected by these worldly phenomena. The first pair is profit and loss. When you do business, sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose. When you make money, you are not too excited about it. You should not spend everything, but keep something for the rainy day. When the time comes that you lose money, then at least you have some savings and you don't get upset. There are many young ones these days who do not understand this dharmic principle. They are often overjoyed when they make profit, and they get very stressed and depressed when they lose money. The whole idea of practicing the Dhamma, or what the Buddha taught, is to develop wisdom so that we will not be disturbed by all these worldly phenomena. When somebody praises you, remember the same person may also blame you. One day you become popular, the next day you can become unpopular. Politicians especially should know this very well. Similarly, sometimes we are happy, sometimes unhappy. What we call real maturity is when you have this kind of enlightened, equanimous mind, and you don't get affected by adverse conditions so easily. The next blessing, asokang, and this means sorrowless. Why do people feel sorrowful? It's because of their cravings and attachment. Owing to strong attachment, they will feel very sad and sorrowful when they lose their loved ones, or when they lose their business, or when someone cheated them. When you have developed some wisdom, you will know the impermanent nature of life and things around you, and you will also know how to think in such a way that will lessen and overcome your problems. If someone has cheated you, for example, you should understand that in the long rounds of samsaric existence, you must have also cheated others. So now is payback time, when karma ripens. Then you will be able to smile and say, "Thank you. You have given me the opportunity to clear my karma. If I have cheated you in the past, I am sorry. May you be well and happy." With wisdom, you will be able to see things differently. When you fall sick, you can still smile and say, "Thank you. With all the merits that I have done, now this illness is helping me to clear my karma, the pain and sufferings which I have inflicted on so many others in the past." In your old age, when you fall sick and in pain, you will still be able to be cheerful and grateful to have the opportunity to clear your karma amidst the support that you are receiving from your loved ones and the blessings of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And when the time comes for you to breathe your last breath, and if you have not completed your task in overcoming greed, hatred, delusion, you should realize that this is something which you have gone through countless times before, from life to life. But now that you have come to the Dhamma, you must make sure that this time you will do it right, without fear and confusion, but with strong faith and confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, so that you will be able to make the clear aspiration that whatever happens, you will continue to grow in the Dhamma's path until final liberation is attained, so that you will be able to reach out to others to help them cross the ocean of samsara. If you genuinely practice the Dhamma as laid out in this Mangala Sutta, then towards the end of your life, you will have equanimity. You will not be disturbed by all the worldly conditions, and your mind will be free from sorrow. Having led a harmless and peaceful way of life, your mind is stainless, virajang, and secured, kemang, free from the taints of greed, hatred, and delusion. Asokang, virajang, kemang, they are actually the attributes of an arahant, the worthy one, who has distanced himself or herself from the tendencies of greed, hatred, and delusion. Having gone through this highest form of spiritual development, the Mangala Sutta concludes with this verse: Eta disani katwana sabbata maparajita sabbata sotting gachanti tang tesang mangala muttamanti. Those who fulfill all these conditions, they are invincible wherever they go. They will find well-being and safety everywhere. This is the highest blessing. This marks the fourth and the last phase of life, which represents the highest attainment in life, when one truly enjoys the fruition of a spiritual life. We will conclude here for now. We will continue with the concluding remarks next session.